The creative principle behind everything we define as nature is one. It is indivisible. It is not a collection of parts, but a singular force of infinite potential. Think of it as a cosmic ocean, capable of an infinite number of individualized expressions. A wave, a drop, a mist, all different in form, but identical in essence. But of all these expressions, there is a mystery. Only one form is described as being made in the likeness and image of that source. That form is you, the human being. You are the biological altar, the localized point where the infinite meets the finite. What separates the human from the rest of nature? It is the will, the power of conscious choice. When this will aligns with the source, you are a co-creator. But when that will seeks to separate itself from the divine whole, the prodigal son complex, it creates a mental knot. A glitch in the matrix occurs. We call this sin. To understand sin, we must look through the lens of spiritual chemistry. Sin is, quite literally, a congestion. Sin can be seen as missing the mark. In the occult anatomy, this mark is a literal physiological destination. Every month, the body produces a seed, the Christos within you. If the will is applied to higher service, this fluid ascends the silver cord of the spine. But when we create that mental knot of separation, we induce an anatomical blockage. This knot physically manifests as a blockage in the endocrine system. The 7 churches of Revelation are, in reality, the 7 ductless glands: the pineal, pituitary, thyroid, thymus, adrenals, pancreas, and gonads. When we indulge in discord, we short-circuit the system. We waste the sacred oil and disconnect the jet pillar. You aren't being punished for your sins. You are being punished by them, by the physical congestion of the very glands meant to secrete the nectar of life. Isaiah Shembe's mission was to take his people back to the way our ancient ancestors viewed their place in the world, as part of its living intelligence. To navigate this, we look to the Egyptian triangle. 1. Osiris representing the spirit, the vertical line. As we have established, the spirit never partakes of the physical realm. It remains in pure vibration. It is the electrical force, the light through the window. 2. Isis representing the intellect and the temple, the horizontal base. This is the realm of the soul and the body. Here, sin begins at the level of the intellect. When we abuse our 5 brains, the intellectual, emotional, motor, sexual, and voluntary centers, we create a cellular resonance of trauma. This abuse has a devastating physical cost. You are burning through the mineral dust that your body is made from to fuel the friction of these discordant mental knots. This is how sin becomes ancestral trauma. It is etched into what occultists call the seed atom, the magnetic blueprint in the heart. This trauma can skip generations, lying dormant like a silent virus, until it triggers in a descendant like a grandson, who must finally solve the frequency error the ancestor refused to address. Your DNA is the book of life, and the ink is your conduct. Horus is the hypotenuse, the integration. He represents the enlightened man in the ascending stages of spiritual evolution. Horus is the result of the soul, Isis perfecting itself to reflect the spirit, Osiris. In the Kemetic and Nguni traditions, there is a profound understanding of the link between the seen and unseen, because the spirit remains pure and untouched. The error resides in the soul, the Ka. Therefore, a displacement in the soul must eventually clothe itself in the physical body, the Ka, as disease. It is a self-regulating check engine light. But how do we reset this light? How do we clear the mental knot? Before we can heal the chemistry, we must understand the technology of atonement. For those unaware, atonement is a sacred ceremony. It is a space where all parties involved openly confess their wrongdoings. Crucially, judgment is not permitted. It is a space of radical truth. After the confession, forgiveness and the acceptance thereof is vocalized by all. A physical cleansing ceremony is then performed, after which the issue becomes a closed book forever. This atonement is a vibrational signature of spiritual redemption. Research into its efficacy suggests it works at the astral level first. First, unlocking the glands by resolving the mental knot through vocalized confession and forgiveness. The endocrine congestion clears. Second, cleansing the seed atom. The magnetic blueprint in the heart is recalibrated, stopping the transmission of ancestral trauma. Third, chemical restoration. Once the soul is aligned, the physical vessel begins to retain its mineral salts. Through atonement, the Nguni maintained cosmic integrity. It is a vibrational cleansing that realigns the centers with the divine influence of Osiris, allowing the enlightened man to emerge. Sin is an intellectual error occurring within the centers of Isis, creating a congestion that starves the temple, while Osiris remains pure. The frequency error in your DNA, the ink in your book of life, must be corrected at the level of the soul. Through atonement, we realign the centers, dissolve the knots, and allow the perfected state of Horus, the enlightened being, to manifest. You are the altar. The ritual is your life. Atonement is the restoration of the grid. Join us in part 2, where we go beneath the skin to uncover the biological debt. We will explore the mystery of the seed atom in the heart, and how a mental knot in one generation becomes a silent, dormant virus of trauma in the next. The ink is your conduct. The book is your DNA, and the debt is coming due. I am the biological altar. Please like, share, and subscribe.